Well, I want to welcome everybody to the first in 2019 to the Y108 Bowser Nissan Theater. I am proud to be joined by Capitol Records Nashville's Adam Hambrick. We had a big light show all planned, but somehow that went downhill. So I'm sorry they gave me the tall stool.
That's okay.
I'll slouch. My mom will yell, but I'll slouch. So, Adam, welcome to Pittsburgh. Is this your first time?
First time.
All right.
First real time in Pittsburgh.
What do you mean real time?
I came to Jurgles one time I was on a riding trip with Eric Pasley.
Oh, so you're like incognito?
So yeah, we were there for literally 8 hours, and we didn't see any of the rest of Pittsburgh. So we saw Jurgles and then bust home.
All right. Well,
so
hey,
it doesn't even count.
So it says you're from what? Corinth, Mississippi?
Yeah. So I grew up in Corinth, Mississippi.
Okay.
Arkansas is more home. That's where my family's from. So when somebody asks me where I'm from, I usually say Arkansas. But I did a lot of, most of my growing up.
Because you went to college in Arkansas.
I went to college in Arkansas. I lived there when I was really young, and all my family's from there. So that's what I tell people.
Okay, so you're a Razorback then?
I'm a Razorback. That's
right.
my cross to bear.
And luckily, your family was from Arkansas because that's kind of how your career got started.
Yeah. So after college, I was just kind of making music on the side just for fun. And then I was just playing. I'd made this record on my own with some buddies from church, and then I was doing like a local morning TV show, and Justin Moore just happened to be at home, happened to be watching, and then he called his producer, and he's like, "Hey man, that dude's pretty good."
It's pretty good, Justin Moore too, by the way.
We all talk alike in Arkansas. But and that kind of turned into me getting to come to Nashville once a month and start writing songs, and that turned into me, getting a publishing deal and really, kind of getting to take steps to getting to do music full time as a career.
So who called you then? Was it his
producer?
All right. Did you still think it was somebody messing with you?
I thought, dude, he sent me an email first.
Who? The producer?
Yeah, the producer guy. And I thought it was one of those like, hey, give us $50 and we'll give you 5,000 friends on MySpace. But it wasn't. It was legit. Yeah.
And the first time Justin called you, I'm sure his voice is pretty recognizable.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't actually meet Justin until a few months later. He was playing a show back in Hot Springs, Arkansas, and he invited me up to the show, and I was like, man, you're shorter than your attitude.
Whoa! It's a true story, though. He knows it.
He owns it. I'm not making fun of that.
I mean, there's not much you can do. You can't add height.
It's just like the dude is like so much fire and so much personality, and you're just like, man, that's amazing.
Did he ever come back to you though?
No, you kidding me? I didn't say that to him the first time.
Oh, okay. I thought, wow, look at you.
No,
I like it.
No, I'm not so bold.
All right, so let's say we go back home, wherever you want a home to be. What are we doing? Where are you taking us? What are we doing?
Oh man, well first we're going to Holly's Country Cooking in Conway, Arkansas.
Okay.
Best chicken fried steak on the planet. I'd put it up against anything. All right.
So we're gonna go. We're gonna get. Hey, food is always good with me.
We're gonna go to Conway and we're gonna eat chicken fried steak at Holly's. And then we're probably just gonna hang out with some friends, with some really good friends in Arkansas. That's probably what we do. Eat and hang out. That's all we got in Arkansas.
Get yourself in trouble.
That's right.
All right. So when it comes to writing songs, because you've written some #1 songs for Dan and Shay, you wrote "How Not To,"
yeah, and
you wrote a song for Justin Moore,
yes,
that went to #1 as well. So when you're sitting down and you're writing, and you went, I guess, to Nashville with 110 or 100. Now this number might be off, but at least in the bio they sent me, you went there with basically a suitcase full of songs. How do you come up with the ideas? Like what sets you off on writing a song?
Titles are always a good place. Like a title or a concept that sounds interesting that I can write a story around. I love stuff like that. For me, most of the time it starts with an interesting concept to kind of snowball around, that you can kind of like flesh out details and add visuals and stuff like that. Really gets me.
So you're just walking around looking at signs and figuring, okay, well that's a good song title there.
Bowser. That sounds like a good.
Y108.
Bowser Nissan.
All right. So when you get into Nashville and you start writing and you start thinking, oh my, this is really going to happen, and then Justin calls you and says, okay, I need a song. Did you start going back through your catalog, or was it like, hey, let's sit down and write one for you?
No, man.
Because you pretty much owe everything to Justin right now, right? At least in terms of
100%.
getting the ball started.
I can't say enough about Justin.
Because once you get in the foot in the door, it's all up to you from there.
For sure. Now, there's like a certain level of sticking necks on the line that had to happen for me to, get to where I was. But they invested a lot in me and gave me the chance. But when I'm writing for other people, I really try not to like write for other people. I tend to really try to stay in my own head and write what I think is interesting or cool or whatever moves me in that moment. Mm-hmm. And when I do that, I feel like that resonates with more people than if I was trying to like write something for Justin.
Yeah, because then you get tied into like, oh well, this sounds like an Eric Church song or something. That. Then that's not you. That's not who you are.
Exactly. And I feel like I don't do well with doing that. I feel like it comes off as forced or whatever. And the stuff that I feel like my music that resonates with people is stuff that's either my experience or my kind of spin on things,